What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Tuesday night's Late Night Agenda. I had to double check myself there just to remember what day of the week it was. How are we all? I hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying the day. As always, there is a lot and not a lot for us to go through, but we will talk about all the latest stories as always. Have a little bit of fun along the way. And yeah, I hope that you're all keeping well. I mean, the countdown really has begun now until the Premier League kicks off. Just one more weekend without any Premier League football. And then it's back, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm starting to get really, really excited about the prospect of the Reds being back in competitive action in, a week and a half's time. It's class. Now, we do have those two annoying, international breaks on the horizon, but look, let's get back to the good stuff before we start complaining about the not-so-great stuff like that. And look, as always, ladies and gentlemen, the only reason that we're able to be here tonight streaming with you amazing people is because of the support of fantastic sponsors like the one you will see in the upper left-hand corner, manscaped.com. Now, the Performance Package 4.0, their all-new package. It was out in America and is now dropped in Europe, and it is available at manscaped.com. If you want to get yourself 20% off, use our code WFM20 at checkout, and that'll get you 20% off absolutely anything on the site, including the all-new Performance Package 4.0, which features the absolutely amazing Lawnmower 4.0, increased battery power, increased strength, LED light on it as well. You'll also in the package get the Weed Whacker, which is your ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, yeah, we all need a little bit of ball deodorant in our life, and Crop Reviver ball toner. So look, maybe you're not like me, maybe you're not heading for 39.1, starting to look down and thinking, them's a little bit saggy. Maybe I need me some ball toner, but we all need it. Well, we don't, but let's get it anyway. It comes in the pack, and also a pair of boxer brief, all in a lovely box, as well as the Shed, which is their travel pack or their travel pouch, and you can get 20% off with our code at manscaped.com. What is the story, everybody? How are we? Where do we want to start tonight? Loads and loads and loads and loads. Can I start on a little bit of a selfish note? I got tickets today, finally, eventually. So it's going to be an extra big month for me, the birthday month. I'm going to be balling it. Going to be over at the Katie Taylor fight, and then going to be over at the AJ fight later on in the month. So it's it's been a lot of saving, a lot of scrimping, but feck it, you only turn 39.1 once. Well, maybe I'll probably turn it about 5 times before I admit I'm any older, but yeah, loads to get through tonight. So where do we want to start? Obviously we've got two friendlies on Thursday really. The Reds are in action at 3 p.m. and then at 5 p.m. So they're 2:30 or 2 60-minute games, and I'm going to stay on right the way through. So our match day coverage for that will start at 2:30 p.m. on Thursday, and I'm going to go right the way through. During the gap between the two 1 hour games, I'll spend the hour chatting and interacting with you guys. So I hope to see you over there for that one. Of course, I say over there, it will be on this channel. But what has popped up today is finally the interview with Pieface is live over on Craig Station. There's a link to that channel at the top of the description of the live chat right now. Watch this first, but maybe later on you can go over, check out the interview with Pieface. I love the man, he's an absolute legend. But look, we're here tonight to talk about Liverpool news. So people are saying, let's start with Saul. No problem, ladies and gentlemen, your wish is my command. So this gentleman here, Saul Niguez, Atletico Madrid's player, he has been linked with the Premier League for the longest time. But today an article came out via Sport to suggest that Liverpool are the favourites, Liverpool are the front runners, and that a fee of around €50 million, which roughly translates I think into £43 million, would be enough to get him out of Atletico. Now, I like they say would be enough, like it's not an open secret that Saul is available and has been available ever since Atleti went and signed Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese. Now, it seems that Manchester United are drifting further and further away from Saul. I've seen them linked to Ruben Neves and a couple of others players, but, you know, my stance, I should say, hasn't changed on Saul. I would happily have him come into the club and be that Gini Wijnaldum replacement, come in, take that position in the squad. But what we do need to do is start to look to free up overseas squad places, and you know that will lead me into talking about Origi later on. The club look like they've named their price on Divock, and I'll get to that a little bit later on in the stream. But look, again, I'm not saying we will or won't sign Saul, but what I'm saying is this is a very consistent link that whether you think sources are reliable or not, look, that's an individual choice, isn't it? Sometimes I look at articles and think it's a load of nonsense. Sometimes I think that it's true. Now, I didn't get any word back from my main Spanish contact, but I did manage to get it from a secondary Spanish contact who does believe that our interest in Saul is real. But again, whether that turns into a bid or not, I don't know. What I'd say is this. This is my reading of the situation from just my own gut feeling. It looks like there's nobody else going for him. That's the way I see this. To me, it looks like either he knows where he wants to go, or the club that want him knows that they're going to get him in the long term, and that nobody's in any rush to get this one sorted. That's how I read the situation, because if there was a competition going on for him, if it really was a fierce rivalry between Liverpool and United or Barcelona or whoever else, then somebody would have lodged a bid by now. Somebody would have been in further contact with his agent, and somebody would have leaked it. So the fact that it's really quiet makes me think that, well, that plays into the way Liverpool like to do their business. Liverpool certainly don't brief the media. Maybe this is being briefed from the Spanish side, or, and we can't rule this out either, maybe Atletico Madrid and that side are looking to try and drum up some interest in Saul because they have bought Rodrigo de Paul. So you can look at it whichever way you want. The only thing I will consistently say is, great, we're favourites to sign him, brilliant, happy days and all that. But to me, it's a sign I'll be happy with. If he comes to Liverpool, I won't be complaining about it. I think, I would have loved to have kept Gini. He is moving on. We would be getting somebody now who's 4 years younger. Somebody who, like Gini, does not miss many games with injury. Somebody who I could see a way that he could easily perform in that midfield of ours, and I think he'd thrive under Jurgen Klopp. I think he's got the right mentality to come to the club, certainly versed at the highest level, playing with Atletico Madrid in the Champions League and being part of the La Liga winning side as well. So yeah, all good for me, but as always, until the club make an announcement, we're going to have to just wait and see. But no other clubs are coming in. That's something I always find very interesting on this one. So, will Saul come in? Won't Saul come in? I think there's a few more twists and turns to go on this one. But let's go over to the chat and see how you guys are feeling. Lucky Star said Saul or Renato Sanchez, similar box to box, most suited to the playing style. Addiston said the interview with Pieface was brilliant. I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. It was 29 minutes of my life that I very much enjoyed. He was a lovely, lovely fella. Great fun chatting with him, and I had loads of laughs. If you get a chance to watch it, I think you'll enjoy it as well. Saul, Thiago, Hendo and Fabinho is going to be fire. On that, actually, while we're mentioning midfield, let's give a little mention to our beautiful Brazilian, the Brazilian octopus, as I like to call him, because he's just got legs everywhere when he's in making tackles. Fabinho has signed on with Liverpool and extended his contract. Can I get an amen? Who doesn't love the news that Fabinho was signed on? So, we know Trent signed a new deal, and we've now seen that Fabinho has signed a new deal at the club as well. And look, I'm over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. Great for him. I've liked him from day one. His good lady wife has always been brilliant on social media as well, and drumming up some love for the club. So all good as far as I'm concerned on this one. This is happy days. It's great. I know it's not a signing, but just seeing players of Fabinho's ilk and quality. We've seen what we were missing last year. We had to drop him back to centre back. What we missed in the centre of the park. So having Fabinho commit, having Trent commit, having Queven Kelleher commit, having Musialowski sign on new terms, having Elliott sign on new terms. Brilliant. And there will be more good news along this to follow. You'll see Van Dijk, you'll see Alisson, and a few more probably tie themselves down to new deals as well. So brilliant. Absolutely over the moon on that one. Well done to everybody involved. But most importantly, congratulations to Fabinho. He's been a wonderful addition to our football club, and it's just tickety-boo that he's signed on for another, another 5 years at the club, isn't it? I didn't even look at the length, because I know sometimes the club do say just long-term contract, but I'm sure that on this one they did say how long I think it's 2026 if my memory's correct. One sec. It's just a new long-term contract. Blah 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 blah. He said, "I'm delighted to have signed a new contract with the club. Since the beginning of the conversation, I was really positive about it because it's what I wanted. Staying in this club, keep playing for Liverpool. Now this is official and I'm really happy. These last 3 seasons I've been very happy here. I've learned a lot with the manager, with all the staff, with the boys as well. We've achieved things together, and for me it's like it's the best place to be, the best place to keep growing, to keep learning from the staff, from the boys. Hopefully we'll keep achieving good things. So yeah, happy days on that one. And 2026 as well, so at least another 5 years of Fabinho. I'll have it. I'll happily take it, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, bit of good news there on that one, which is always happy to see. You know, there's always lingering doubts, isn't there, when there's, you know, we're hearing there's supposed to be contract renewals, but until they get done, until the ink is on the paper. But yeah, I'm delighted with that one. Absolutely delighted. We've got a few amens from all over the world. One there from America as well. Love you love to see it. Amen. You want some chicken, la? That was my guess at it. Wasn't too bad now. Come on. Somebody put it in the chat. That was my attempt at it. But my Scouse accent is nowhere near as good as Fabinho's was. If you haven't seen that video, by the way, it's top notch. Craig appreciation, lads. Oh yeah, well, let's have a bit more of that. I mean, we have some Craig appreciation. Yeah, why not? I mean, I'll never say no to it. Ella, lovely to see you back in again. Hey Craig, Bowser 2-0 up versus PAOK. Could be the biggest result in the club's history. One of the biggest in Europe for an Irish club. I know that they're playing in the Aviva, Ella. I did see a couple of people sending in some shots of them at the game. So please do keep me up to date, Ella, because that is a tremendous result, as you said, for Bohemians and for Irish football. Still need Salah to sign a new deal, said Addison. Yep, we do, and hopefully, mate, that there is a bit more positive news on that as we move forward. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you absolute beautiful boys and girls, do us a favour, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, keep your comments coming in. We've loads of time to go on the stream tonight, loads of stuff to get through, but as always, I do have to pay the bill, so bear with me 1 sec again. But I just remind you guys that you can get yourselves over to manscaped.com and get 20% off absolutely anything by using our code. The code is, of course, WFM20, because we're fucking massive, and why wouldn't we use that code? That'll get 20% off anything. My personal recommendation is to go and have a look at the new Performance Package 4.0. It's just dropped on Manscaped in Europe. Inside the package you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0, which is the trimmer for making your nuts all schmexy. You'll also get the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the ball deodorant, the ball reviver and toner. You'll get it all in a handy little travel pouch bag called the Shed, and it comes in a good box as well. Pair of boxer shorts thrown in there for good measure and all. So maybe that man in your life or that lady in your life, I'm not being sexist here, I'll be honest, my missus has half-inched the Manscaped Performance Package before and used it, so do you know, I'm not being sexist, no sexism here. But what I will say is get yourselves over there if you fancy treating somebody. Use our code WFM20 and mwah, job's a good one. Right. Why no more signings? You seem to have gone to sleep. I think we will make some more signings, mate. I've been quite consistent in my belief of that. But what we do need to do is start moving players on. So look, one of those players is this gentleman here, Divock Origi, somebody who has scored on some massive occasions at the football club. You know, Champions League semi-finals, Champions League final, the goal against Everton, goal against Newcastle, some really, really vital goals. But in the last couple of years, I think it's fair to say that Divock has just not moved on and excelled like those around him. But what gets me on this one is the club are looking for £20 million for Divock Origi. I personally think that's too high. I know Michael Edwards is brilliant at doing what he's doing, and he's got some fantastic fees for players in the past, but on this one, the fact that a potential to sign a couple of players really kind of rides on the fact that Origi and Shaqiri move on. I would rather that the club either put a sell-on clause on there and take lower money, or take less guaranteed money and some maybe add-ons to just free up the place, get Kloppo the squad space that he needs and help get him the player that he needs in. So for me, I think 20 million is too expensive for Divock Origi, and I think that's one of the reasons why he hasn't moved on in the past couple of windows, is that our valuation of him, whether I or you or anybody else thinks it's realistic, the valuation is only realistic if somebody comes in and puts pound notes down on the table and As of yet, nobody has met the club's valuation of 20 million quid for Divock Origi, so let's wait and see what happens. I just hope for everybody involved, because let's not forget, like, it's easy for me as a Liverpool fan to sit here and go sell Divock Origi, but Divock Origi is a human being with his own life, his family, and any move has to work for him, and it has to work from a footballing perspective for him as well. So yeah, I just hope a compromise can be reached whereas everybody's happy. The club get a figure they're happy with. Origi moves on. He's happily financially. He's happy with the new club that he's going to. He gets more game time, and hopefully everybody wins. That's where I am on this one, and let's wait and see. And Brian thinks 15 million will get him sold. I think you're probably right, Brian, if I'm being honest. 15 million and some of these hypothetical add-ons that we keep hearing about. Rabadan, first super chat of the night, thank you very much. Buddy said, I love the fact that the evil ones will never win the league with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager, regardless of money spent. Watch them miss out on Champions League this season. Now before anyone jumps down my throat, I'm reading out a super chat. I would agree with you on some part of that, Rabbit, and I don't think United will win the league under Solskjaer either. I don't think they'll miss out on Champions League though. I think they will get in the top four this season. I think I still don't know how to predict the top four race this season, although I do believe it will be Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool and Manchester United in some form. I wouldn't be as confident they'll miss out, but I would be confident that I don't see United winning the league this season or under Solskjaer, but that's just my opinion. But I do see them in there or thereabouts. I mean, look, nobody can argue that the business they've done in this window, bringing in Rafael Varane, although it's all but to be confirmed, bringing in Jadon Sancho, it's good business, and they already have a decent front line, some good young players. But look, let's wait and see. I still think there are a few players short myself, but obviously as a Liverpool fan, I don't want them to win anything, mate, and I know you don't as well, but I'll always be honest, and my honest opinion is I think they will be in the Champions League places at the end of the season. Let's swap him for Pedro Neto, said Ghost Wolf. The problem with Pedro Neto at the minute is that he's injured, and I don't know how you go about doing a medical, or could you go about doing a medical for a player that's still rehabbing his way back to injury and may not be back till October or November time. So I don't see that one being a runner. Damien, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. You didn't put a comment in, but very kind of you nonetheless. I really appreciate it. Right, so let's get Origi down off the screen for a second, and let's see some more of your comments on Origi. Karius could be easiest to sell, said William. Oh, I don't know if he could, mate. I mean, he knows he's no future at the club. We know he's no future at the club. And yet, it doesn't look like we can move him on yet. I would have thought there'd be a few clubs in Germany, perhaps, that would fancy taking a punt on him for, what? I'd say 3 to 5 million would probably buy a Karius at a guess. And it is just that, of course. Is Saul already signed? No, mate. No. If he was signed, trust me, the stream title would say he has signed. All it is that, according to more reports coming out of Spain, we're favourites in the race for a signature. Chelsea's close to signing Lukaku, apparently. I know that they've put a bid in for Lukaku, or at least they've made their interest be known in Lukaku. And I spoke about this to you guys yesterday and in previous streams. From Inter's perspective, they don't want to lose Lukaku, and I don't think Lukaku wants to leave Inter Milan, if I'm being really honest with you. It's been no secret that Chelsea's number one choice in the striking department was Erling Haaland. Now, it looks like even they could be potentially priced out of a move for him in this window, and they've turned their attentions back to Lukaku. But Lukaku has said many times, he feels really at home. He's got a great working relationship with Conte. His return has been brilliant there at Inter Milan. And they've got Champions League football this season. So, I don't know about this one. I don't know if he will move, I think Inter Milan would be, I won't say happier, but more open to the prospect of losing Lautaro Martinez, just my opinion, than they would be of Romelu Lukaku. So, again, it's all just personal preference, but I don't think he goes, I don't think he goes. I think he stays at Inter Milan. Somebody saying Mateus Pereira is a great shout. Did everybody see his, I don't want to call it press release, but I guess that's kind of what it was. So I think there was some words between the new manager of West Brom that he didn't like, and he made no secret of the fact that he's an ambitious fella, would like to move on, but he'd like to move on correctly, do so in a way that the club get paid well for him. And, you know, it was a very classy statement, if I'm being honest with it, and something Harry Kane and a few other footballers could probably learn a bit from. Now look, it's PR, of course it is, but it's still nice to see it and nice to hear it put out there. But where Pereira goes, there's been links to Palace, I think, and a few other clubs. I've genuinely not seen anything linking them to Liverpool from what I've been reading anyway. What's happening with Cade Gordon, said Bish. He is going to... Cade Gordon, I'm running this through my head. And Musialowski, I know, is staying. I believe Cade Gordon is going to stay, but I know that Musialowski, the plan is to put him in the 23s for the season. I think I'm right in saying that the plan is to keep Cade Gordon, but there may be somebody better placed in the chat that has read something more up to date on this, because often at times a lot of stuff is moving, and you know, decisions mightn't be made till close to the end of the window. So, but either way, it's you know, what a great signing he was for the club, Cade Gordon. I've been really excited by what I've seen of him in pre-season. Right, I'm going to move on now to another gentleman. Let me just quickly grab my notes up again. No, we've done that one. Done that one. Oh, yes, so... Daniel Nielsen has said Liverpool have stepped up their interest in Ryan Gravenberch. No deal happened this summer, but will hold talks with Ajax next summer for his transfer. He's highly rated by Liverpool. So this is Ryan Gravenberch. I believe he's still 18 years of age. And as I've said many times, you don't come up and you don't play at Ajax unless you've got something about you. And we've been speaking about the likes of Pedri. We've been speaking about the young French kid who's, of course, his name has slipped my mind here, even though we only talked about him yesterday. The guy who was at Ron, who'd been linked to Liverpool, United, PSG. There's a lot of great, talented youngsters in Europe at the minute. And Ryan Gravenberch, I think it's the right decision. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, I think to leave him at Ajax for his own development for another year is no harm whatsoever. Yes, Camavinga, that's the guy I was trying to think of. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, look, it's more of the same news-wise, isn't it? Much like Neto, much like Jude Bellingham, much like a few other players we've spoken about. It's one of them next summer malarkey. So, you know, it's no secret that Liverpool have been monitoring or linked with Ryan Gravenberch. It's been public knowledge for quite a long time, to be honest with you, widely reported as well. And I genuinely didn't think that we were going to make a move from this summer, because it would be a big risk to bring in an 18-year-old like that, to expect him to come in and try and perform at the level we'd need performed at this season. So yeah, probably the right move for me to keep an eye on him and see how he gets on this season with Ajax. But definitely a very talented player, and definitely somebody with a very big future ahead of him. Another transfer for next year. I get you, Minty, and look, I love bitching about this shit as much as anybody else, but some of these transfers for next year, so like Neto or Bellingham, I have to say I actually understand them. You know, I'll be the first one to say I want us to do business this year for the positions we've spoken about, but, you know, I'm also realistic in that sometimes it's the right call for a player to stay at another club for a year and then Liverpool to go back and look at them before. I mean, it's happened quite a lot over time. If you look at how long Kloppo was tracking Sadio Mane as an example, you look at how long Liverpool have been keeping tabs on the likes of Jeremy Doku, you know, from a 16-year-old coming over to even now saying, okay, well, he's had a good Euros, he's doing well, leave him one more year, and then we'll go back and look at him again next year. And sometimes it suits for everybody. Martinez in talks with Arsenal as football terrorist. I'm going to say this really clearly, just once. Fuck that channel. I don't give a shite what anybody or anything to do with that channel has to say, because I don't like Terry Flores. I don't like him one bit. I think he is a snidey shit. That is my honest opinion of him. So I don't want YouTube beefs. I've blocked them. I don't even want to talk to the man. So if you watch Football Terrace, that's completely up to you. You are free to watch whatever you want. But I do not like that channel. So I'm going to say this again. Fuck the Football Terrace. There. I always told you you'll get nothing but honesty from me. And that channel, I'll tell you why I don't like the channel. I went onto the channel in good faith after being warned off it. After being told, don't go on it, Craig. Jesus, don't go on it. I said, you know what? I take everybody at face value. I went on it. Those who've seen when I went on it, what happened, they know why I'm saying fuck the Football Terrace. I went on it and, look, footage is there. I don't want to get anybody else into trouble, but let's just say I resolved the issue with Sonny, no problem. Me and Sonny spoke behind the scenes. He reached out, we sorted it all out. No problem with that man whatsoever. But I do not like Mr. Flores one bit, and I don't give a fuck who knows it. Don't like him, don't like him, don't like him. Wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Don't like him, don't like him. But did I mention that I don't like him? Because I really don't like him. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? I also don't understand how somebody came in and bought out that channel, by the way, or bought that channel. I don't understand how anybody looked at him and went, let's reward him with a payday. So, yeah, he doesn't... All this shit's public knowledge. Snack Media, I believe, now own the Football Terrace. Actually, I know Snack Media own the Football Terrace because it's public knowledge. They tweeted saying that they had bought the Football Terrace. So, there you go. So, that's one channel you will definitely never see my ass anywhere near again. Because to me, in my opinion, he's a fucking lowlife and I don't like him. It's as simple as that. And there's no beef involved, there will be no back and forth. I just don't like him, and I don't give a fuck if he knows it, you know it, or anyone else knows it. Let's move. Imagine City buy Kane and Grealish for 250, then get hit with a £150 million fine for leaving the ESL. No big clubs will buy until this mess is sorted out, said Chris. Yeah, so look, on the whole ESL thing, I read into this a lot last night because I know that there's a lot of concern about this coming back, but let me just see if I save this because I've read some really good articles on this actually over the last day or two. Right, here we go, I did save it. Because usually I delete these things because I'm a gobshite. So here we go. This comes from the Times, by the way. So feel free to have a read of this yourself if you get a chance. UEFA has rejected the demands of a Madrid court to revoke its action against the 12 founding members of the European Super League and is confident of seeing off the legal challenge at the European Court of Justice, which, as I said to you guys before, is held in Luxembourg. The judge in Madrid made an order on Friday stating that UEFA must publish on its website that it will drop all financial and sporting penalties. He also ordered UEFA to tell the Premier League and Italy's FA to drop all action taken against the English and Italian clubs involved. A source close to the governing body has told the Times there is no intention of carrying out the order and that its actions will be fully justified by the European Court. UEFA is also unconcerned about reports that the European Super League is now planning to revamp the breakaway competition so that it is not a closed tournament. The Super League idea is dead, said another source. The fans killed it and there's not going to be a resurrection. So as you can see from UEFA's side, they're very, very confident that this Super League thing will be dead. And, you know, when I said to you guys the other day, look, I am, you know, I'm definitely not a legal mind, but when you have a club in Madrid getting a ruling in a Madrid court and it's a multi-billionaire president who is a property tycoon, I believe, in Madrid getting a verdict in a court in Madrid, to the layman, to a simpleton like myself, it seems like, yeah, well, that's fucking convenient, isn't it? So, yeah, it looks like Yeah, it looks like that UEFA are very confident that they'll put a nail in the coffin of the Super League, and we all know that the Premier League clubs signed up to an agreement of a massive fine if they even attempt to break away and join the Super League again. So from the outside, and again there will be people like the Times article here and people who are far better placed about this stuff than I don't think there's nothing to it, to be honest with you. I think the Super League, it's just Perez grabbing onto it with dear life because it's could be the only thing that saves a lot of these clubs from financial oblivion, perhaps. So let's wait and see how it works out. But on your comments about Manchester City and that spending the money, I'd be more concerned from a City perspective that with the Premier League investigation that's currently ongoing and has been ongoing, and Sporting Intel is a brilliant account. Neil runs it on Twitter. Who, the Mail on Sunday are the only publication allowed into the court for these hearings, and they did a brilliant bit of journalism. I mean, when you speak about the Daily Mail, let's be honest, a lot of the times we don't really think of investigative journalism, but my goodness, these lads have been working 2 years on this stuff to bring it to the public. Lots of legal battles. Go check it out. At Sporting Intel is the account on Twitter. There's some great threads up on there, and full credit to the lads for the work that they've done in fighting to get this out there into the public and make it public knowledge. Anyway, we move on. Should set up a boxing fight. I've got no interest, mate. I don't want to be in the same room or breathe the same air as him. He is not the type of person I want to be around in any way, shape or form. So, yeah. Where have we got there? Sorry. I think it's terrible club. I think the terrible club is ready for this season. Jensk, sorry, I was thinking, what was this about? You're a United fan, Jensk, of course. I wasn't. That wasn't me slagging your club, mate, don't forget. It was somebody else. I think you will finish top four. Chris said, I've done that one already, Man City by Grealish and Kane. Yeah, I mean, the Grealish thing looks possible, but yeah. That's Craig, folks. It's pure truth. If he doesn't like you, he'll tell you he shoots from the hip. I do. And that's what gets me in trouble in this industry. That's why I don't, one of the reasons I'm not in the little cliques in this industry, because, unlike some other people, if I think you're a cunt, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you I think you're a... If I like you, I'll be honest about that as well. But I'm not two-faced. I do everything out in the open. I give my feelings. That's one thing I hate about this industry, is the snidiness. People smile at you and while they're fucking ramming a knife into your side then as well. And that's not me. Never be me, never will be me. And yeah, you'll always get honesty from me. I keep telling you that. But then yeah, we've wasted enough air on that gentleman. Let's move on. Craig, do we cash in on Taki, Bobby and Matip next summer? I think with Matip we might be at a stage where him having signed a new deal, I think he might stay here for maybe the rest of his career, or providing his body holds up. I don't think selling him will be a realistic option, and if it is something that the club ever do, I think it'll be for a very small fee. Who else did you have in that comment? Sorry, Bobby, I get the feeling for next summer that he might be moved on. I said this on previous streams. It's just my opinion, not based on anything factual. And Taki, I still don't know where we are with Takumi Minamino, to be honest with you. Lee Chappie said, how are you, Lee, by the way? And sorry to hear about your long COVID, mate. I hope you're on the road to recovery. Said, don't talk about this industry, pal. Bloody hell, I can't keep anybody happy. It's, well, one thing that you will know, Lee, is that I've always been honest with you when you've messaged me behind the scenes. You've asked me opinions on people. I've always given them to you, fella, and I've always given them to you honestly, because that's the type of fella I am. But look, I'm really sorry to hear about the long COVID stuff. I only found out recently enough. And I hope you're on the road to recovery, mate. I hope you hit all those targets you spoke about this season, the 25k. And and the collabs that you want to do with Goldbridge, and the collabs that you want to do with Blue Van Man. I hope you get them all, because yeah, again, I know you're somebody that just wants to do your thing, and you know there's not many of us, Lee. There's not many of us, mate, that you know don't really have agendas and just want to go about our own stuff. And it's tough, isn't it? Because sometimes you get dragged into this shit. And it's yeah. Just I'm just gonna keep saying yeah, Lee, to be honest with you, because I think I've already had enough rants in this stream about the whole thing, rather to keep it going. But get better soon, mate. And from all of us, my family, Connor, the kids, Sabrina, the dog, you know, we wish you a quick recovery. Craig, I like the Reebok hoodie. Thanks for referring it. It's an old one, actually. I've had this ages. Right, let's keep moving on, though, because here's an article. Here's a new one. So, Liverpool keen on Nicolo Barella, according to Calcio Mercato, which is mad, isn't it? Because one day you're seeing no way Inter Milan are selling Nicolo Barella. He's a future captain of the club. Everything has been built around him. And Inter Milan will not be letting him leave, which I can absolutely understand, because he's a fine player and, you know, they want to keep him. And then you hear all this other stuff, and it's always been from Italy that Liverpool want Nicolo Barella. I think most clubs in Europe would want Nicolo Barella because he's a fantastic footballer, but I think we'll all agree that Liverpool won't be signing him in this window. So I'm keen to I'm keen to be romantically involved with Mila Kunis at some point in my life, but the odds of that happening are slim to none. So I would say that the odds of us going out there and making a bid or trying to sign Barella in this window are probably the same as my chances of Sabrina! Am I allowed to shag Mila Kunis? Am I allowed to shag Mila Kunis?
If you think you have a chance.
She said if I think I have a chance, so, you know, I've got more of a chance probably than Liverpool have of getting Neuhaus. Not Neuhaus, I see Neuhaus in the chat. Barella ruined it there, ruined the end of my own little moment. But you heard it, that is legally binding now. So, you know, when it happens, because let's be honest, if I'm ever in a room with Mila Kunis, the sheer animal magnetism, the sheer machismo that will be generated from this will just be forced out there into the world, and she will of course fall under my charm. So, you heard it, she can't go back on it, it's a runner. If it happens, no divorce court in the country can hold me up on this one. I've got to go ahead. So irreconcilable differences or cheating will not be accepted in the divorce court. You have it here, folks, confirmed. Mila, how are you, love? You alright? What have we got? Views on Neuhaus. I haven't seen too much of him. All I can tell you about Neuhaus is that it looks like he's going to stay at Mönchengladbach for another season, and I think he'll end up at Bayern Munich, but articles recently have said that Liverpool and why am I so excited about the prospect of maybe someday seeing Mila Kunis, by the way? In my own head now I'm going, yeah, you got away with that one, son, go on fella, and then I look in the camera and I go, oh yeah, you're a big fat ball shite. Not a chance of that happening, fella. Yeah, but there we are, anyway. My wife wants you to sing Hey Jude. Na 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 na. Hey Jude, 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 Jude. There you go. That's just for your wife, mate. Just to make her happy. And at the same time, I think it's Mick Wall or somebody else's wife right now is banging her head against the wall. So there you go. Anyway, there's some football shit going on. Listen, now let's talk some more football stuff. Oh yeah, the thing that we all wanted to hear, of course, the biggest news, the thing that's going to stop us talking about offsides and stuff is the thing that is now more talked about than anything else. And surprise, surprise, there are more VAR changes coming for the season ahead, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're all absolutely delighted with that, because nobody can get enough of listening to and reading about VAR, because we all love it so much, don't we? So here's an article that I read about VAR. You can find this everywhere, but basically this I took from Sky. Said, after coming under heavy fire over the last 2 seasons, the Professional Game Match Officials Board, the PGMOL, are to introduce subtle changes to an official's use of VAR in this campaign. Approach is a move away from forensic scrutiny to have a more free-flowing game, apparently. So players will be given the benefit of the doubt this season, as goals won't be ruled out for offside due to toenails and noses, because we all know toenails and noses, they were the big ones last year, weren't they? We would have won the quadruple if it wasn't for the fact a couple of our players didn't shave them bleeding toenails and give them a little snippety snip. They were too long, cost us a European campaign. Would you cop on? Just tell the lads to stop being a bunch of fucking cabbages and we'll be all sound. Use common sense. Yeah, you're going to make the lines thicker. That doesn't make any difference, because the VAR merchants who love screwing over specific clubs in specific ways will still find ways to draw the little lines. Oh, and by the way, it won't be shown in stadiums anymore to fans. So you won't get to see, if you're inside the stadium, how these bunch of omadons came to the conclusion that they did. So isn't that just fucking wonderful? Tickety-boo for everybody. Yeah, we all love a bit of VAR, but it gets better, because now we get to listen to Mike Riley and hear what he has to say, because we didn't have enough of Mike Riley when he was a shit referee. Now he's the shit head of referees. So he said, fundamentally, we want the approach to be one that allows players to go out and express themselves and let the game flow. Really? Really? You want the game to flow? You want them to be out there expressing themselves, Mike? Don't we all, sir? Don't we all? It means VAR teams will not interfere for trivial offences, and the threshold for referee and VAR intervention will be slightly higher than it was last season. We've introduced the benefit of the doubt for the attacking player, so when we have a really close situation, we will follow the same process as last year, but now apply thicker broadcast lines. Just say we bought a fucking Sharpie. I could have summed it all up for you. Man's not using a pen anymore. Man gonna be using a Sharpie. Job done. You're welcome. My God. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're sick of it. We're all sick of it. Just don't be shit. Job done. Sorted. I'll do it. Give me the gig. I'll sit at home here in me fucking Craig Station booth and I'll sort out all the VAR decisions. But yeah, there you go anyway. VAR, more of it. Woohoo! Craig, you deserve an Oscar at this rate. I'm not going to lie, I'm pissing sweat here now. I'm giving it to you tonight. I'm giving 100% here, because I realised last night I was a little bit lower, a little bit less energised than today. But yeah, I'm trying to make up for it today anyway. Anything else here on my list of things that Connor told me I have to talk about? No, I'm good. Right, let's go for some questions towards the end of the stream. Is this your only source of income? I don't take an income from the channel, mate. Not yet. Connor is full-time on the channel. I'm close to it, but not yet. So as of yet, I'm still technically a what would you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, fucking hell. The idea of not even getting paid annoys me so much I can't even think of the word of it. But yeah, and volunteer isn't the word I was looking for, mate, but that'll do. But I hope in the next few weeks that I will be full time. When the stuff starts that I've signed on to do with That's Football, that'll probably be the time where I roll the dice massively, throw my whole family future at risk and go full time at this stuff. So yeah, basically. So Connor's the one that's loaded and I'm just, basically he's pimping me out. And pimping ain't easy. It's important to point that out as well. Predictions for Joshua B. versus Usyk. I predict that I will be sitting in block 527 with Mr. Connor Crosby singing Sweet Caroline. Oh, good times never seem so good. That's what I predict is going to happen. And after that, I don't care. And you had me in stitches with that Sharpie line. That's basically what we've gotten to, though, isn't it? Like, we're making the lines a bit thicker. So it's gone from a point where VAR is either a factual thing that's onside or offside, or, well, people are arguing, so we'll draw the lines a bit thicker, but we're still going to have that same margin of whether it's on or off. Like, what is your job? I don't have a job, mate. Again, for those, I'm on disability. I've lived on disability for a long time. Our family are like everybody else, living hand to mouth, week to week, day to day. I've been very honest about it. I do not take a wage from Anfield Agenda. I hope to do very soon, and we're getting to a point with the new sponsors we have on board for the new season, and with the That's Football stuff for me, where in the next 3 to 4 weeks, I probably will be full-time. And who would have thought at 40 years of age, I'll say, I'm a YouTuber. It's mad, isn't it? It's petrifying. And I won't lie, I shit myself over the thoughts of it. But yeah, that's why I get annoyed when people say to me, oh yeah, you can go on a holiday with your family, or you can afford to go to an AJ flight. Here's how I can afford to. We receive our money as a family. We've an autistic son. My wife gets carer's allowance for him. And we save. We don't drink. We don't smoke cigarettes. We don't go out because we have to look after our kids. My wife and I have been out maybe 4 or 5 times together without the kids in the 20 years. No, that's a lie, because we didn't have kids when we were 20. In the 17 years that my daughter has been on this earth, and the 9 years my son has been on this earth. We save like demons all year round. We don't go out. We don't do much flashy shit. We're just pretty good at saving for our annual family holiday and all. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe having a better life and not driving an older car, and maybe buying a house someday, and fucking just having some ambition. Because I know a lot of you guys are probably the same. A lot of people are probably stuck in a poverty trap of week to week, hand to mouth, borrowing off Peter to pay Paul, and it's been a shit existence. But I'm not the only one that's had it. Many people have. I've just been lucky that maybe now I'm in a position where I can roll the dice and I can go for it, and I can say, fuck it, give it a try. If it fails, it fails. But I wouldn't be here without your support. So again, thank you. And yeah, thank you. And also, when I do go full time, send me lots more money, please. A lot of it, truckloads of it. I only want to see super chats on the screen, basically. I won't even acknowledge your existence without super chats, memberships, and red panty night. I'm only joking. I will be the very same dude. Philip, how are you, man? Thank you for the super chat. I didn't miss it. I was just saving it. Craig, when you do your predictions for the upcoming seasons, are you worried? I'm not confident that we'll finish above City, Chelsea, or United. Am I worried? No, I'm not worried. But will I go into the season as confident that we can win the league as I was in previous years, as in the last 3, really? No, I don't think I will be that confident either, Philip. I think in my head, where I am at with Liverpool right now is I see us getting into the top 4 with the squad that we have. I think all the English clubs are well equipped for a good run in Europe, because I think the Premier League is the strongest. So I think we should be looking to go far in Europe, and I would like us to do well in the domestic cup. But I do think, if I'm being honest, Philip, we're a couple of signings away from really being able to go and feel more confident about winning that league. And that's that's me being realistic. Right, more of your comments to get through. Let's keep going. Wait, Craig, are you disabled? Not physically, no. I have no physical disability whatsoever. I have generalised anxiety disorder, Asperger's, and just a bit fucked up inside the old wiring loop a little bit, mate. But no, I've no physical disability at all. I'll give you an example of why I'm not a normie and why I couldn't. So I used to work, the last job I have before I really had to pack it up was, my friend used to run Ireland's largest not health foods, supplements chain, and I used to work with him and others in his warehouse. So he got that big that he had stores, but he had a warehouse. So I used to help managing the stock of the orders in the warehouse. And I got to a point where he's your mate, you want to do really well for him. He gave me a job and he gave me a very good wage, and I was very grateful. And one night, over the course of time, I began to get a bit more stressed. And then one night, it got to the point where I was sitting in bed at 2 a.m. and I couldn't sleep because I thought I had mislabeled a package. And I know how important customer service was to him and to the industry, and particularly the competitive industry he was in. So to cut a long story short, I got out of bed, I got the keys to the office because I used to open it up every morning in the warehouse, and I drove 40 minutes to the warehouse to check it before it got collected for dispatch, and I came home. And that's, without trying to explain it, that's the kind of way my head is. It's why you see me down and low at times. If I get negative stuff into my head, it becomes debilitating, isn't the word. Like, I've gotten up in the middle of the night to rearrange a press in the kitchen because if I actually told you the real reason, you'd think I'm even more weird than I am. But let's just say I got up in the middle of the night to rearrange the press. I noticed a mark in the bathroom one night when we lived in our old house, and I got up in the middle of the night to paint it because the idea of knowing that was there was enough to stop me from being able to sleep. So I get very obsessive about certain things, and if I work in an office, I would have to sit in the very corner of the office, furthest away from the door, with nobody behind me so I can see everything at all times, and would have to be in that. And then my routines would be the same routine all the time. So I would have to eat at the same time, I would have to get up at the same time. Everything in my life is routined and scheduled. I don't like chance, I don't like not being in control, and the idea of going on a holiday or stuff like that, like, for me to go on a night out, I won't go on a night out unless I know I have... Let's say I was going out with my mates when I was 20 and we were going out on the piss and we were going to a nightclub in Dublin. I wouldn't have gone out without having the pickup arranged for us to come home. Now bear in mind, this is in the days way before Uber or any of this stuff. And I'd have a minibus or an 8-seater paid and ready for when we come out because I didn't like the idea of uncertainty. Uncertainty freaks the shit out of me. It's why I always tell you guys I'm worried that I log on here one day and see that nobody's in the live chat or anything like that. It might sound like nothing, but I promise you, to go on a holiday, I have to walk through the airport visually with my psychologist. I have to Google map the area where the hotel is. I have to, if I'm going to a venue, I have to look at the entire venue and ideally have to look at where I'm seating, what the view will be from my seats, how far it is to an egg. Just all this stupid shit that shouldn't matter but drives me doolally. So that's probably the best way I can explain to you why I am the way I am, or what's wrong with me, for want of a better phrase. And again, add into that the fact that I can often go 3-4 days without any sleep, or sleep very strange hours, and yeah, I'm sorry. I hope that's explained it a bit better than I have previously. But someone says, is that autism? I have Asperger's, which is on the autism spectrum, but I wasn't diagnosed with Asperger's until I was about... Serena, how old was I when I was diagnosed? 34, yeah, I was thinking 34, 35. So I went through my entire school life, did my leaving cert, all the stuff with my parents. And when I look back at my mum unfortunately took her own life through suicide. But when I look back at my mum after getting my diagnosis, I could see so many traits that I had and she had, where things could be okay and then really bad, like really low in your own head from nothing. Stuff gets blown out of all proportion. Like, I obsess about stupid shit, like the weirdest, most ridiculous stuff. If I get sent a message from a mate and I pick up that one word of it could be a bit snidey, I'll go mad trying to figure it out, and I'll overread into the situation, and I'll spend hours overthinking about it. So yes, but I would be what I would be considered high functioning on the the Asperger's side of it. Hope that makes some sense. I mean, again, my fear, of course, in saying this is that it's going to get used against me, but at the same time, anyone that does use it against me is probably not the type of person I want involved in my life anyway. So that's me. That's the ABCs of me, like, and that's why I get stressed about the likes of the AJ tickets for the fight. I lost probably 3-4 nights sleep worrying about trying to get those tickets, or the smallest little things, like, it just become a big deal to me, to the extent where I will, in the earlier days I'd have a panic attack, but these days I'm able to manage panic attacks a lot better. And like, I'm on medication. I've been on antidepressants for, well, SSRIs for ages, and I've probably been on, I wouldn't say it's an exaggeration to say I've been on 10 different medications over 19 years. The ones I'm on now are pretty good, and then I'm on other medications to help with my anxiety that like would stop me from basically becoming a full recluse and not leaving the gaff, like, and it's, but which is odd, because I know when I come on here and I sit here and I chat with you guys and I'm jovial and I'm laughing, always be understanding that it's because it's in my environment. I'm safe, I'm at home, I'm in my house, my family are outside. I feel content and happy here, which is why I kept saying to you over and over again, for me, the pandemic wasn't that different to normal life in a lot of ways. I had huge concerns about my family and their health, and trying to make sure we mitigated any risk of anybody getting COVID or anything. But what I did have more than anything else was you. You guys were my link to the outside world. I mean, that's why I laugh when people say thank you to me, because you've absolutely nothing to thank me for. Without you guys, I wouldn't have got through the past 3.5 years. You guys have given me a platform. You have given me confidence. You have made me laugh. You've made me smile. You've made me cry. But you've made me feel accepted more than anything, and you've made me feel welcome and normal, and that that it's all right to be me to you, if you get me. Like, it's all right to be the real me to you guys. I don't have to hide the lows or the stupid things or the cheesy singing or the shit jokes or the rages or the stuff like that, because that's me. That's who I am. I'm ups and I'm downs, I'm lefts and I'm rights, but you can't get one without the other. So yeah, anyway, I hope that works. I hope that explains it better than I can. But that's why I've never, like, I don't get me. I don't get the appeal of this shit. That's why I've always been so worried about actually going and rolling the dice and going full time with it, because I don't understand this. I don't understand what you watch. I don't understand how it's a thing. I don't understand how being able to do this as a job. I don't understand. Like, I'm a boomer. Do you know what I mean? I'm 40 this year. I'm an old lad. This shit doesn't make sense to me. I mean, this wasn't a career when I was growing up. You went and you got a job, or you went to college, or you did an apprenticeship, or, and it's why I understand that there are people on social media that go, you just sit in your sofa, lad, and shout with the telly, or, because I was that ignorant. Do you know what I mean? I was in that position of ignorance at one point as well, until I discovered this amazing ecosystem and this amazing community of people, which is why I'm always happy to big up and point out the people that I found to be really helpful. The Mark Goldbridges, Lee Chappie, all my friends in this industry that have treated me great from day one. I've never turned their back on me, and have always been there for me. And I hope to do that for the likes of Matt Hayes and Jack Gill and some others, and Corey and Dave Azzopardi. I hope to use the platform that you've given me to help these guys make their platform, because although I still don't understand this industry, I understand the personal relationships of it and how that works, and I understand what a platform can be, and I understand that I can use it for good, which is why Craig Station is something that I'm really looking forward to, because it's only going to be happy, positive stuff. It's only going to be me having a laugh with people I love and find really interesting, and it's purely just a vanity project for me to get a chance to speak to people I find intriguing and people who I think can make me smile and benefit my life in a positive way. And I couldn't have asked for a better first guest on Craig Station than Pieface, because if you watch that video, whatever you think of me, if you don't love that man by the end of that video, if you don't feel the same want for him to succeed and do well in life that I feel and I felt, and that was the first time I'd ever spoke with him, I fucking love the dude. He's amazing. He just radiates positivity, and that's what I want for the people that I love and the people that are my friends in this industry. Is I want us all to be like that. I want us all to be out there radiating positivity, having a laugh and having fun, and taking all this toxic shit that has crept its way into fan culture and move aside. But that's also why I'm not afraid to say that I don't like Terry Flores, or because I don't like him. But if you do, I won't judge you for it. But yeah, I love you fuckers, and that's all I'm going to say on this one. And I'm going to go off and finish on I'm finishing with a happy buzz today, rather than yesterday's one where I felt like I let you down a bit. So I don't get it. I'll never understand it. Thanks for subscribing. But yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I mean, mad that me, little gobshite me, can earn a living perhaps from this because of you and your love and your positivity and your will to come together and make this community of ours, which is second to none in my opinion. So look, I love you all dearly. Thank you very much. Apologies for the bits of waffle along the way, but I'm feeling in good spirits after this one. So lots of love to you all. Thank you for everything, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll finally be able to say the words, I am a full-time YouTuber. And yeah, madness.